Hey guys, and welcome to my page. Today we're talking once again about another productive device. Now this one is called the Remarkable 2. I don't know why they didn't put the 2 there, but it's the Remarkable 2. So this device is probably one of the better devices I've tested as far as productivity goes. I have different opinions about it. I definitely like it, but I wouldn't recommend it. So stay tuned till the end and you'll know exactly my thoughts on this. And I like to tell you exactly what you can expect. A lot of people try to talk about the specs and the details and the inside workings, but I just like to tell you exactly what to expect when you're using this product so you can make a decision on whether or not you need something like this or whether it's even cost effective to go this route and whether or not there's a better path for you. So let's first talk about the unboxing experience as well as the delivery experience. So I ordered this about Saturday or Sunday and I got this product by Tuesday. Like it was very quick. As soon as I placed the order, by the nighttime it was like, oh, it's already been shipped from DHL from Norway and it came all the way to America in about 2 or 3 days. Like that is very quick, very fast, and the packaging was very thin. Like you couldn't even tell. It was like the size of this, slightly bigger because of the box, but you couldn't even tell that there's like a whole chunk of some technology in there. So it was a very cool experience. But the best part was the unboxing. So I opened it up and it was almost Apple-like quality for the unboxing. There was flaps everywhere. There was like the sticky thingy. Like it was very clean, very well thought out, very professional, and I really enjoyed the unboxing experience. But let's be honest here. We only unboxed an item one time, so let's talk about the actual usability because that's what you're going to be doing. So let's talk about the build quality real quick. This thing is very thin. Like I don't know how many nanometers it is, I don't care about that, but when it comes to your hand, it's very thin. It's thinner than the average notebook by far, and it weighs about the same as a regular notebook. So you're not going to be bulking around anything heavy. It has a very nice feel to it. The front and the back are plastic, so at least I think it's plastic. It's something like that. And then the side and the bezels are like a metallic frame, so you can hear the difference between the back and the side corners. There's these magnetic ports that attach to cases. We'll talk about cases later on in the video, but that's basically a part right there. And then, yeah, the rest of it just has a power button on the top and a USB-C on the bottom. Another thing to note is that there's these little grip thingies on the bottoms. So if you're placing this on a table, it's not gonna be sliding around. That's something I noticed with basically any other tablet. It will be sliding around on a table unless you have a case. So in this case, no pun intended, the dot thingies make it really nice to just place it on a table and start writing without it sliding everywhere. So that's an aspect I really like. Now the only downside I could see to this build quality is the potential for bending or even breaking. Now I've not experienced that, but just based on how thin it is and the plastic build, I feel like there's a possibility that a textbook could possibly shift this over, but the metallic frame is relatively sturdy, so I don't think that should be an issue, but it might be. But just put on a case on this and you should be more than fine. So that's something you should think about, but probably not too big of an issue. Now let's talk about the pen that comes with this, because this is a pretty incredible pen and I feel like most of the benefits of the paper feel comes from the nib, but feels very sturdy. I like this pen. I like this pen a lot. And it has this nice matte texture and I really like it. Another bonus feature is a rather expensive one, but we'll talk about pricing later, is that the eraser comes built into the back. So there's two models of a pen you can buy. One that I guess you just switch to the eraser mode on the device, and then the second one that you just erase just like you would with a pencil, and that typically does a really good job. So I really like that, but again, you're paying like I think $40 more, but we'll talk about that towards the end. Another bonus feature for this pen is that you don't have to even charge it. It's basically immortal. Everything is built in and you just start writing and it's good to go. You don't have to worry about any battery life or anything. So now let's talk about the usage of this device, because this was one of the most perfect paper feelings I've ever had in a device. So I immediately opened this up and I started writing, and first of all, the e-ink paired with the paper-like feel, incredible combination. I was actually blown away. Like the writing experience was phenomenal. You can open up any type of page, any type of lining system, whatever type of page you want, as well as whatever type of pen you want. So you can do a fine liner, you can do a regular pen, ballpoint pen, you can do a paintbrush, you can do a calligraphy pen, a pencil. There's a whole number of options you have when using your pen. So this allows you to really customize your notes as needed. If you want to doodle or sketch, you can use certain ones. If you want to take notes, you can use certain ones. If you want to make headings, you can use certain pens. There's all sorts of different options that you have at your disposal. So you can really use this as if you're using an actual page. You're not really limited by any of the technological aspects, and you can kind of just bring in anything you need. On top of that, the pens are pressure and angle sensitive. So if you're using a calligraphy pen or a brush, you can go up on your strokes just as you would in regular calligraphy and press down on the way down as you would in regular calligraphy, and it'll match just as it does in real life. So Remarkable has done a really good job, almost a remarkable job, in kind of imitating the paper aspects of a pen, as well as the paper and the texture. And Everything overall is very, very nice. The latency for the pen is almost not noticeable. Like, it's there. It's very, very faint. It's very, very slightly delayed, but it's not something that's going to bother you. It's not going to really be something that you notice. And the accuracy of where you put the pen is also phenomenal. So all the areas of the writing, the texture of the actual tablet, everything is really, really nice, and I really, really love it. Like, I will say this again, I like this device. There's a kind of a big flaw that I'll talk about later, but other than that, this device is truly really, really nice. Now, one more aspect of the Remarkable is the Connect feature. Now, this feature allows you to connect your notes to various cloud services like iCloud or Google Drive or many others. And the Connect feature also allows you to screen share. So let's say I'm teaching a class on Zoom. So I can take out my Remarkable, connect it to my screen, and basically write notes and teach as needed just from my device. Like, there's no extra step needed. So that feature is very, very nice, but it comes at a cost. So this whole Connect feature that I've mentioned does come with a monthly subscription. We'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end. Another aspect of the Remarkable that I really, really like is the battery life. So unlike an iPad or a laptop that I have to charge basically every day when I'm using it, this device lasts, I think, about 2 weeks. So because of its e-ink technology, the amount of battery you use is very limited. It's not overly draining. So the battery life lasts a long time. And what helps is also that it has USB-C. So anywhere you go, you have a laptop, you have a phone, you have an Android phone, you can just plug it in, forget about it for like an hour, and be good for 2 weeks. So that aspect makes it really, really nice, so you're not charging every single day, and you're kind of just getting in the groove as needed, just like you would with a regular notebook. Another aspect to note is the e-ink technology. Now, I talked about this in my Kindle video, which is gonna come up somewhere over here. So basically with the e-ink technology, you're reducing the amount of glare on the screen. So you're not gonna really feel like, oh, there's light coming onto the screen and kind of intruding in your notes. It'll just be a crisp screen without you ever even noticing that there's like a sunbeam just shining on. If anything, the lights actually make the experience better. So the whole glare aspect of this is completely eliminated, which also is why I really like this product. And another aspect of the e-ink technology is that it reduces eye strain. So if you're using like your laptop a lot or your iPad a lot, this can be a nice way to kind of detach from the technology side and kind of give your eyes a break. And that's kind of what made me want to buy this, because I'm a huge fan of the Kindle. And so finding this kind of like a note-taking version of the Kindle was kind of like a double whammy for me. It was like I got the e-reader and I got something that I can really write down things with. So it was a nice culmination for me, and that's why I chose this. But the dark side for this is that the crystal quality of a iPad or some other device where you're writing isn't there. So now let's talk about the things I don't like about this device. Let's start with the pixels, because this device has great texture, it has great writing, but it's not crystal clear because it's not a screen, and we can't expect that from an e-reader. But the problem is still there. When you're writing, you can see that it's not crystal clear, it's not completely round. You can see a slight amount of pixels on the edges. And when you zoom in, it smooths it out, but the pixels are still there. So as far as the quality of the writing and the actual notes that you take, the quality isn't up to par when it comes to other devices that have real screens. So that aspect is kind of a turn down for me. And along those lines is the zooming in lag. So when I'm zooming in or moving around page to page, there is quite a bit of lag, especially when I'm kind of zooming in and panning around a page. I'll end up in a different page that I didn't want to go to, or I'll just kind of shoot past where I wanted to go and then I have to go back and then I have to zoom out and then it lags. So that aspect is very annoying. Now again, you can't expect an e-ink technology screen to basically match an iPad screen or a computer screen. They're built differently, but that factor is still there. The e-ink technology also has one more issue, and that is the low light. So on the one hand, it's great because I don't have to worry about glares. The screen is beautiful, it's bright, but there's no light in it. So if I'm in even a slightly dim room, it's very hard to write. I need a light source, and that kind of works with the paper idea. So this might not be a con necessarily, but it's very easy to basically not be able to read. And I feel like a paper does a better job kind of reflecting low light than this device does. So that's something else you want to keep in mind when you're getting this device. But it might not be a complete issue if you're always in a bright area and you're writing. So this is kind of a con for me, but it might not necessarily be a con for you. The second thing I didn't like is the lack of resources. So whenever I want to upload a file or a book or something to this device, I basically have to go on my phone or my laptop, download it separately, and then upload it to this device. So it's kind of annoying. It's not a wire transfer. You can do it wirelessly, but it's still a bit of a hassle because I can't do any of that from here. So it kind of goes along with the no distractions theme of this device, but at the same time, it makes it very limited. I can't access Amazon's Kindle library. I can't access various different news networks. I can't access all these articles. So I have to basically go somewhere else, use another device, and then upload it here, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a one notebook that has everything in it. Now for the biggest con yet, and the biggest reason why I don't recommend this device, despite all the things I do like about this device. the price point. So I purchased the device and the pen for almost $500. Now, that is not cheap. If you can afford it and you don't even need to worry about the money, then you know, this might be for you. But as far as the average person, for $500, you can get a nice iPad Lite or Mini or whatever it's called nowadays, and you can really get a good device, like for the same price as this. So you're getting this device that can't really do any multitasking. You can't use it as a second screen. You have to pay to do the screen sharing. You have to pay to have any connections to the cloud servers and whatnot, versus a device that's basically a computer that can do so many different things. And yes, the writing experience isn't the same, but there are benefits to it. And I'm gonna do a whole video on the Paperlike screen protector as well as the nibs for the pen. So I'm gonna do a whole aspect of the iPad stuff later on. But as far as this device goes, it is a great device. It is a very, very remarkable device, but it's very, very expensive device. And unless, like I said, unless you can just afford to just spend money on it and not think about it and get whatever else you want, then yeah, this might be for you. But for the average person, $500 for these two, that's too much. This device costs around $400, and this costs about $120. And speaking of the pens, there's two different models for the pens. One without the eraser built in, and one with the eraser built in. So this one is, I think, about $40 more than the other one. So that is a lot just for an eraser, $40 extra. And don't even get me started on the case. The case for this is around $200 plus. I got a really nice case on Amazon for about $40. So this thing is really overpriced overall. Just everything I've seen, all the accessories on the website are overpriced. Now, thank God I could get a case separately, because if I couldn't, I would be taking this around without a case. I wouldn't be able to have any protection for it, and I would just be kind of out of luck. And as far as the pen goes, you can't really substitute it with any other Amazon device. So this kind of is what you have to start with, and this is gonna cost you around $400 to $500. So that's a lot. Now let's talk about the Connect, because that's gonna be another $7 every month on top of the $400 to $500 you've already spent. So in my opinion, paying to get the integration is kind of nonsensical. Like, something this expensive should not ask me to pay to be able to connect my notes to different cloud services. That should be included, especially given the already high price point. Like, who gives an iPad and says you have to purchase the screen separately? Like, that's essentially what's going on. You're basically handicapping me and putting me at the mercy of paying you every month for who knows how long until you come up with the unlimited plan. And this is already expensive. Like, if this was $200, I could consider, you know, $7 a month. That might add up over time, but for the first couple of years, it's worth it. But if you're starting at $500 and working your way up, so my final conclusion is that this isn't really worth it. Like, I'd rather you put your money into a device like an iPad or something that has so much more versatility and really a lot of usability without paying all the subscriptions and the crazy high price points for the cases and other accessories. So that's just my take, but what do you guys think? What does Coco here think? And ooh, he just went to sleep. And if you like that, hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you in one of these videos I made here. I made a video on the Kindle, which is a spectacular device. And I also made a video on the Rocketbook here. So these are two of my favorite devices for productivity. Check these out and I'll see you there. Thank you guys.